Hello, collective. How is your vibe? Hello, collective. Patience with spirit is alive. Can you guys hear me? I hope you can. I'm gonna wait a little bit for someone to get in. Turn the volume up. Oh, I got an itch. I got an itch. It's itchy. Hello, collective. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Patience. I am your high sensitive, psychic, intuitive, medium, healer, shaman, whatever you want to call me. I'm here with the Guild of the Golden Triangle, and we're hosts of Spirit News on Spotify, where we teach you about your non physicalness. We are here today doing another Spirit Speaks, and we're doing the names that Spirit constantly says all the time, so I can just get them out of the way because clearly Spirit wants us to know something about this energy. And we do also psychic development on this channel. And then on our TikTok, we do our ascension process. So if you have any questions about that, or if you want to have any, oh, I'm getting really itchy all of a sudden. Interesting. Someone could possibly have itchy skin or dry skin, or they could possibly need to do some self-care. Maybe this person needs to be practicing a little more self-care right now. I'm not sure. I'm also smelling feet. I smell really stinky feet, like cheesy, stinky, like definitely stinky. So I don't know what that's about. It just came out of nowhere. But we are doing Maria, One, and Cash. And then what I got immediately when I was trying to channel the energy was somebody who's kind of codependent, but money hungry. You know, someone who has to have name brand stuff, somebody who has to always have a man. It felt kind of like that, kind of like she's like an amoeba, you know, like not. It could be put it where the energy fits, but I'm just going by the name. She kind of feels like an amoeba, like she has to be a part of. She always has to have a relationship to take care of her. She's a codependent kind of energy, okay? So then I asked Spirit for a song, and they gave me Mystery of Love, La Flex, Summer Mystery by Donna Summer. Okay, I don't want to play too much. So let's read the lyrics. Seasons are changing. Okay, so times are changing. Children of love are alive. They have children, love children. They could possibly have children from multiple fathers, like different kids from different dads. People reach out to survive together. She could possibly reach out to people to find love. Love is the message. She's reaching out to people with messages of love to try to survive like a codependent person. We carry across the sky, down through the passage of time forever. History unfolds as this story is told, and it's the mystery of love. How we go on and on forever, and it's the mystery of love. Coming to rescue me. Yeah, this is like Captain Savaho energy. Like this person always needs someone to come to their rescue, or she plays like the damsel in distress, like, oh, I'm such a battered woman. I have no home. Oh, I'm beat. He beats me, or she's just trying to ruin my life. You know, like it feels like that. I'm really getting that right now. Lost in each other's embrace. Oh, coming to rescue me, a man and a woman, lost in each other's embrace, star-crossed in time in a place far away. So star-crossed lovers, meaning she's always meeting star-crossed lovers, or it's always some melodramatic star-crossed tale of her. She's a dramatic person, innocent dreamers, turning the wheels of chance, searching to find romance forever. We will surely find love is for all time, and it's the mystery of love, how we go on and on forever. And it's the mystery of love. Only one heart can turn the key. Down through the history of love, time is the one that holds the answer. Yeah, so this person is contacting people. I want to say maybe even catfishing people or doing online dating. Something where you can maybe even like, slide in messages in the DMs, like doing some kind of online searching of love. Okay. And lost in each other's embrace. This person is just, she uses romance as some kind of crutch or expectation to feel better about themselves. It's the mystery of love. Come rescue me. A man or a woman, it doesn't matter. She goes both ways. She gets lost in the embrace, the innocent dreamer. She looks for people who are innocent. This person seems like kind of Black Widowy to me. She makes it a mystery. She makes it like she's the only one who has the key to your heart. She has done this down through history, and time is the only one that holds the answer. Time is what tells her true intentions after a while, because she can only be fake for so long. Oh, interesting. I just got a lot from that. All right. All right, let's continue. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Tell us more. So I have a Bible passage here. Alrighty, let me turn to it. So I turn to Samuel chapter 1, 15, paragraph 10, rescue of Jonathan. Samuel rebukes Saul. Then the word of the Lord came to Samuel. I regret having made Saul king, for he has turned from me and has not kept my command. At this Samuel grew angry, and he cried out to the Lord all night. Early in the morning he went to meet Saul, and he informed that Saul had gone to Carmel, where he set up a monument in his own honor, and that on his return he had gone down to Gilgal. When Samuel came to him, Saul greeted him. The Lord bless you. I have kept the command of the Lord. But Samuel asked, what then is this bleating of sheep that come to my ears? That must mean like screaming or something? What's bleating? Wrath. Oh, like a wrath of sheep that come to my ears, or the lowing oxen that I hear. They were brought from noisy. Okay. Means like noisy. Oh, they were bothered by something. The animals were bothered by something making a lot of noise, and they were like, what's going on? They were brought from Amalek. The people spared the best sheep and oxen to sacrifice. Oh, another sacrifice. How many people could possibly sacrifice animals? But the rest were, but the rest we destroyed. We putting them under the ban. Samuel and Saul, stop. Let me tell you what the Lord said to me last night. Speak, he replied. Samuel then said, though little in your own eyes, you are not chief of the tribes of Israel. The Lord anointed you king of Israel, and has sent you on a mission, saying, go and put the sinful Amalekites under a ban of destruction. Fight against them until you have exterminated them. Why then have you disobeyed the Lord? You have pounced on the spoil, thus doing what was evil in the Lord's sight. Saul explained to Samuel, I did indeed obey the Lord and fulfill the mission of which the Lord sent me. I have brought back Agag, the king of Amalek, and carrying out the ban. I have destroyed the Amalekites. But from the spoil the army took sheep and oxen, and the best of what had been banned to sacrifice to the Lord your God in Gilgal. But Samuel said, does the Lord delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as much as in obedience to the Lord's command? Oh my God, so it's like this person believes that by sacrificing things to God, but doing bad things, that sacrificing like automatically like switches the bad things they've done. That's not how it works. To listen better than the fat of rams, for a sin of divination is rebellion. Someone is using divination in the wrong way. Someone's using divination in the wrong way. And Barbara and arrogance, the crime of idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord in turn has rejected you as king. God, oh, this person's using divination. They're not even chosen. They're not even a prophet. They're not a priest. They're nothing. They're just using divination for their own gain. That's wrong. That's where divination in the Bible says it's bad. You're not supposed to use divination unless you're chosen, or you're responsible enough to have discernment, where you're not going to use it to like spy on people or take people's stuff, or to you're not going to use it the wrong way. But this person has no obedience, and they burn sacrifices like first they'll spy on you during for divination, or however, I don't know how, what kind of divination. I'm getting multiple ways. Crystal ball, mirror magic, tarot cards, and divination. Yeah, divination. It's all the same, really. It's just different forms of it, but it's the intention that is wrong. Spirit only grants those who have a certain frequency to use divination, because then they'll use it for help, to help people. But this person's not using it to help people, they're doing it for their own gain. The rejection of Saul. Saul admitted to Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the command of the Lord in your instructions. I feared the people and obeyed them. Oh, they listened to somebody else. Now forgive my sin and return with me. What may I worship the Lord? That I may worship the Lord. But Samuel said to Saul, I will not return with you, because you rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord has rejected you. The Lord rejected them. As Samuel turned to go, Saul seized a loose end of the garment and tore it off. So Samuel said to him, the Lord has torn the kingdom of Israel from you this day and has given it to your neighbor of yours, who is better than you. The glory of Israel neither deceives nor repents, for he is not a mortal who repents. But Saul answered, I have sinned, yet honor me now before the elders of my people, and before Israel. Return with me, that I may worship the Lord your God. And so Samuel returned with him, and Saul worshiped the Lord. Samuel executes Agag. Damn! So this person's using divination, and they're sacrificing animals under the they're tinkling. Oh, this card was on the board. Local police. They could possibly be in trouble with the local police. We'll see. Where should we go from here? Light from Uncommon Star. Spirit, thank you so much for being with us. Please tell me what more you want us to know about this situation, how we can get a higher perspective of this linear view. Transgender. Transgender icon and video celebrity Katrina Nugent is an exciting trailblazer in the music world, new to the realm of violin competition, with success only possible in the age of social media. She has become an internet star on video and social media platforms. Katrina is a brave individual who, in just a few months, has bridged boundaries in music performance and transgender visibility. So this person could possibly be transgender. Huh. Or they're involved with someone who's transgender, or they could possibly have two personalities, one that's feminine, one that's masculine. Visibility for transgender is a performance like music, unabridged boundaries for months to an individual, acting brave in forms that on platforms of social media and video, trying to be an internet star to become a social media age. Possible only with success, but with competition in a realm new to them, the world is set by trailblazers citing expectations of celebrity video icons. I think this person's pretending to be transgender to get social media views on some kind of platform they have. Ow! They're lost or I'm lost. Am I reading this wrong? This person either is pretending to be transgender or they are transgender but using it as a crutch to gain sympathy for views instead of actually being a brave individual. They're just using it as for clout, not really like an experience of what they're going through. I'm not sure which one it is yet, but that is so interesting. And they're doing sacrifices. So what's that about? Let me look in women who run with wolves. Okay. Spirit, please tell me what this woman's about. The natural predator of the psyche. This person's a predator. Developing a relationship with the wildish nature is an essential part of women's individuation. In order to execute this, a woman must go into the dark, but at the same time, she must not be irreparably trapped, captured, or killed on her way. Other side. On her, she's trapped on the other side. This person dibble dabbled in some darkness, and now she's trapped in the dark. She's trapped irreparably, captured by the darkness. Sir said, rock. It's rock solid. The Bluebeard story is about a capture. We've heard Bluebeard multiple times. That's about a narcissist who killed 7 wives. Didn't I say this woman was giving me Black Widow vibes? The Bluebeard story is about the captor, the dark man who inhabits all women's psyches, an innate predator. He is a specific and incontrovertible force which must be memorized and restrained. To restrain the natural predator of the psyche, it is necessary for women to remain in possession. Daughter. So, this is about a woman in possession of all their instinctual powers. This is about a woman in her bluebeard masculine energy. She's like she's like a woman. Maybe that's her other maybe she does have a split personality and one of her personalities is like a bluebeard. Oh my god. She's a woman who has a man as another personality. She thinks she's transgender or she's telling everyone she is transgender, but really it's an alter of her psyche because she is living in the dark side. She went into the dark side and she's trapped and captured there. And Bluebeard is her main alternate, and the other one, her real person is not. Her real personality has been trapped and captured by her alternate. Oh, shit. What? Possession for women. It's necessary for women to remain in possession of all their instinctual powers, but this person went into the dark, which means that they have lost possession of their instinctual powers. They have been trapped or captured irreparably in the dark. Some of these are insight, intuition, endurance, tenacious loving, keen sensing, far vision, acute hearing, singing over the dead, intuitive healing, and tending to their own creative fires. But this person has an alternate personality. This person's got split personalities, and the altar's taken over. Oh my gosh. In psychological interpretation, we call on all aspects of the fairy tale to help us represent the drama within a single woman's psyche. Bluebeard represents a deeply reclusive complex which lurks at the edges of all women's lives, watching, waiting for an opportunity to oppose her. Although it may symbolize itself similarly or different in men's psyches, it is the ancient and contemporary foe of both genders. Spirit said lethal. It makes this person lethal. It is difficult to completely comprehend the Bluebeardian force a force, an energy, for it is in, or maybe they're possessed by a blue beardian force. What? Meaning indigenous to all humans from birth forward, in that the sense is without conscious origin, yet I believe we have a hint of how its nature developed in the preconscious of humans. For in the story, Bluebeard is called a failed magician. Ah, this person's dibbling dabbling in the bebop boops. In this occupation, he is related to other fairy tales which also portray the malignant predator of the psyche as a rather normative looking but immeasurably destructive mage. And Spirit just said lethal daughter. This is a lethal daughter of freaking witchcraft or something, who was dibbly dabbling in the boo boops in the dark, and it says right here, and but at the same time must not be irreparably trapped or captured on her way back from there. So it says it's normal to go into the dark sometimes, especially when you're developing a relationship with your wildish nature on in a woman's, but she didn't go in with any protection. Spirit says she wasn't protected, or she lost protection because she kept going into the dark, and she got possessed by some blue beardian force that is immeasurably destructive. So it looks like a pretty package, but inside it's a immeasurably destructive mage. A Bluebeard is called a failed magician. Wow, come through, Spirit. Holy moly. Where to now?
Something good is going to happen.
Spirit, please tell us how we can help and what you want us to know. Demon. Spirit just said demon. This person has a demon inside them. Astral katana. This person needs some kind of, they need help from some authority figure. Whenever a samurai warrior, you control attacks alone. You may pay one when you do attach ancestral katana to it. Ancestral. I think this person's ancestors have left them. Is that what you're trying to say? This person's ancestors have left them because they kept summoning them. They kept summoning their ancestors to make them fight fights that they didn't want to fight, and they sucked. Spirit said it sucked. They were trying to raise their ancestral line to fight fights and do things that their ancestors didn't want to do. And when you do that, you trap your ancestors to it. Someone equated it, and this is a good analogy, and I'm going to borrow it. But when you call upon your ancestors, they're chilling. They're like, you don't call someone at 3 in the morning. You don't call your friend at 3 in the morning and be like, "Hey, what's up? You want to go kick someone's ass for me?" No, you don't do that. That's considered rude, right? It's the same with your ancestors. You don't bug them from their slumber, from being where they are, to come here and trap them again on the earth plane when they're already working out things that they're supposed to work out from their own life. And now you're going to tack on things that's going on in your life for them? No, that's horrible. Or she thought it was her ancestors, but really she was summoning,
Chemistry.
she was doing experimental chemistry with creatures. And she thought they were her ancestors, but they weren't her ancestors. They were demons. Oh my gosh, she was doing
Close door.
she never closed the door, cuz,
Ground.
and she never grounded herself. Spirit says she was playing around with demon magic, thinking they were her ancestors, probably because they were telling her that. And she didn't ground herself. She didn't close the door. She opened the door. She never closed it. And it left it open for her to be susceptible to Bluebeardian forces. that are catastrophic. It's difficult to outwit something that doesn't speak, strategize, or even think. Spirit said this person is an ignorant student of energy. They didn't understand anything about protection, about grounding, about closing doors. They were calling upon what they thought was their ancestors. It was not their ancestors.
Smell.
Smell. Oh my god, I said that they smell. In the beginning, I said they smell like freaking feet. They're stinky because they have an energy attachment to them that probably gives them, I don't know, weird smell. Ogre head helm, artifact creature equipment ogre. Whenever ogre head helm or equipped creature deals combat damage, reconfigure. Control or unattached from a creature, reconfigure only as a sorcery. Yeah, this person's doing magic and she's bringing back things that she's bringing back. She thinks she's bringing some kind of warrior ancestors onto the plane to help her with her whatever she's concocting. I think it has to do with like money, with love. Using it for anything because she doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't even protect herself. She's opened a door. She never closes the door, so lets anything in. Creatures unlocked. Yeah, she left it unlocked. She didn't even close it back up, and she let it loose into the city. So she's going around town and having all kinds of fun with this door open, telling everyone, yeah, look what I can do. And then she keeps opening the door, and every place she goes and hangs out in as some kind of party favor or something. Like it's some kind of party. Look, this is her. She's like, you want to see a trick? You want to see a magic trick? I'll show you how powerful I am. But she's really bluebeardy in energy, all to the point where now she has a split personality, and that personality, her personality, has been pushed to the background. Look, like this picture, she's just an onlooker now, and the energy that she let in, that she didn't close the door to, now has a hold of her. She's, look, this is her in the background. She's like Medusa now. She's like half Medusa, half human, half demon. Oh my gosh. I have never heard of this in my life. Even, oh my god, it's crazy.
Trinity.
Trinity. She has the
Stop talking.
Spirit, please cleanse the field of anything that wants me to stop talking. Thank you so much. Please activate our golden armaments, and no weapons against us shall prosper. Thank you. Sorry, cover your ears. All right. Heap gate. Yes, I'm telling you, she opened a heap of a gate, a giant portal into the unknown. She didn't know what she was doing. She didn't close it. She opened it. She never closed it. So now there's an untapped gate that's open, that has no control over it, that anything can come through. And if you're one little bit on the lower frequency, you'll get an energy attachment to you because she never closed the door. She needs to close the door. You simply say, I send back all entities that came through this door, and please close it. I demand it be closed, or I'm closing the portal, or I'm closing the portal behind me. Say something. This person just opens portals and then just goes and makes dinner for their kids. And their blue beardian energy, probably spitting in it and shit. Nasty end. Oh shit. This person's not gonna have a good end? Is that what you're saying? Oh my gosh, she's gonna be going down laughing. Look at this. Wow. This person has lost their mind. This person literally has a split personality because they summoned something they thought was their ancestors over and over again. And the Dylan could be significant. And Spirit said Dylan and, oh, I forgot the other name. Dylan and Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the other name. But this person has been dibble dabbling the beebity bops, and they opened a door they didn't know they were supposed to close it behind them, and they didn't know they were supposed to protect themselves, and they've been they thought they were pulling together their ancestors. They thought it was their ancestors. So now they're going around in
One bad
blue
scourge.
beardian energy because it's like they have a split
Cerebro.
personality. Look, this is them now. This is them. And they're in the background over here. They're just watching from the outside because it said in the book that once you start dabbling in the darkness to not get stuck there because you could get possessed, basically, is what it said. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. How can we help? What do you need us to know? How can we help? Whoa. Long goodbye. This person's gonna have a long goodbye. As the days grew longer, so did the list of missing persons. This spell can't be countered. This includes the ward ability. This person needs to go to a psych ward because every day they're here, they're putting hits out on people with magic. They're like doing something funky with magic, trying to, I don't know, trying to save themselves, but they're sick. They're gone to they're I don't like saying this, and I really don't like saying this, but it's just too late. They've gone too far. Some coily, yeah, they're like too coiled up. They're too look. This person's gonna be laughing all the way down into the pit, laughing because they're too far gone. They're not them anymore. They were pulling too many ancestors that they thought were ancestors, but they weren't ancestors. They weren't ancestors. They thought that they were Asian ancestors. I'm hearing Orishas. I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying the data I'm getting. And they weren't pulling Orishas. They didn't protect themselves and they were been doing animal sacrifices. And in the Bible it said that no, you've been breaking all the commandments, and he's like, no, but I've been doing the animal sacrifices. So they do something bad with the ancestors, and then they sacrifice an animal to God thinking it's going to make up for it, and God's like, no, I don't want your animal sacrifices. I want your obedience. That's what I want. I don't care about God does not care about animal sacrifices. He will never have you sacrifice an animal. That's just something they did back in the day, sometimes during festivals or celebrations, because that's what they had back then. But now you can sacrifice your time, you can sacrifice eating, you can do a fast, you can sacrifice drugs, you can there's other things to sacrifice. You can go to the gym, you can read a book. I could go on forever. There's other things you can sacrifice
Ousting.
now. Ousting. Yeah, this person did it so many times because they thought they were cool, and they went around the city saying, look what I can do, look what I can do. And they opened this portal that they didn't know they opened because they never freaking closed it behind them. And every time they went to a party or did some, there's a sun on it. So they were illuminating the city. They were going around hanging out with people saying, you want to do a party trick? You want to see something cool? And every time they did it, they opened a portal, the same portal. So it's like all over the city now, causing destruction and chaos because people don't even know that a portal is opened in their home. They're probably experiencing poltergeists and haunting.
False.
No? Okay.
Hunted.
Haunted. Oh. Well, I don't know. Maybe not poltergeist, but they're wherever there's a portal, there's definitely going to feel uncomfortable there. It's going to feel like you're being hunted, Spirit said, or this person's being hunted. Why doesn't Kylox put an off switch on these things? Why didn't you protect yourself or close the portal? Now they got this thing, they think it's an item, but it's them. They're the portal now. They've become the portal. The only way for it to close is if they're isolated and stop doing it, or if they die. So it's going to be one or the other. I don't know which one. I'll do different cards now. Oh, goodness gracious. How did this even start? Why did she want to do this to begin with? I think it has to do with love, honestly. I think it's going to have to do with love. I don't know for sure yet. I'm going to find out. But I think it could be. Let's do our focus book. Let's open our focus book. Okay, Spirit, please tell us more. What you want us to know? Taking inventory. Freedom, renew, trust, anchored. What was solid? What someone thought something was solid, but it wasn't. They put their trust in themselves and didn't anchor or focus. They needed to realign to help them not drift against life. Someone who couldn't reset what they did because someone who their life was drifting away and someone was drifting away from them. I told you it was love. So they wanted to reset after what they had done, but they didn't anchor themselves. And so the person drifted farther away. So something they did, I think they may have used a love spell or something. I think they had someone that was drifting away from them because they have unhealed wounds and they couldn't handle rejection. And so they did some kind of love spell or something to anchor them, to bind them together. But this person's an ignorant student of magic and energy. When you do a love spell to someone, eventually it will end badly. It'll end badly for you, whoever did the love spell, because you're doing it against someone's will, and they will end up hating you more than they would have if you just let them go. Love is unconditional, and it doesn't, you have to realize that you don't need love to survive. This person's very codependent, so they have to always be with somebody, and they didn't want this person to leave them. So when they were drifting apart, instead of anchoring themselves, they anchored themselves to a person.
Logan.
Logan could be significant.
Scream.
They're very dry. They're very dry. Um, because she wasn't trustworthy. She didn't believe in God. She wasted time and she was easy. She was promiscuous because she didn't understand her own she didn't understand that she was leaning on people in difficult times instead of renewing herself and changing with the season and trusting in God for whatever adventure she wanted to go on. Her thoughts held her captive, making her feel more important more important her thoughts held her captive, taking importance over understanding herself, taking away her focus from being renewed. She couldn't renew her mind to ask in what ways she could renew her mind to focus her energy on what works best for her and her attributes, so she could get praise of worthiness and excellence and be recommendable and lovely and pure and honorable and true. But these things she never thought about. She didn't think
Standing beside you.
she didn't have any self-awareness. Okay, she doesn't have the ability to ask herself, why am I doing this? Why do I feel this way? Why do I keep hurting people? What do I want to be? What, she's very codependent. She looks for other people to fill her up, which people do it for her for some reason. Nobody really tells her no. Maybe she uses her body or something. I don't know, something like that. Freedom, the word wordum wordum freedom is a word not focused on throughout the week and plays a bit another role to serve as uh, plays another freedom is a word never focused on in the week to play out how another one would serve for her freedom.
We do not.
So it's like she gives her freedom away freely to other people. She feels the need to control and be controlled. You know, she's very codependent. She can't be alone. She needs someone there to tell her what to do, to tell her that she's awesome. She needs specific times and specific dates, and for it to be true, she needs protection and she doesn't have boundaries for protection, for her own protection. She's boundaryless. And so people start noticing how she's acting and notice that she's not as free as she pretends to be, and that she obeys her own she doesn't obey Jesus, basically. And that's what it said in the Bible, that she doesn't have any obedience to God, because in one breath she's sacrificing animals every time she does something bad, but she keeps doing bad things. So now she's this, because the book says she dabble dabbled in the dark, her dark parts too much, and she was opening some kind of portals trying to get her ancestors to come, but her ancestors weren't coming. Those weren't her ancestors, but they were saying that they were her ancestors. And so she thought she was powerful, and she kept doing it around the city. This magic trick she was doing around the city, but she wasn't protecting herself, and she wasn't cleansing herself, and she wasn't closing the doors she was opening. So she was actually letting through um, monsters disguised as her ancestors, but they weren't ancestors. They were just straight up demons. And so she did it so much that it possessed her, and she literally has a split personality now, like a literal split personality that has dominated her. She's literally right here in this picture, and this is taking over a Bluebeardian force. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Why she do that? Why you do that to us? What can we do? How can we help her? Spirit, please give me some information for how we can help, if we can. The three tenors. So she did this with three people. Maybe that's what cry. The spirit said cry for them. She did it with three people: opera stars Placido Domingo, Jose Carreras, and Luciano Pavarotti. Three recording as the three tenors. So she possibly has engaged with three people to do these ancestral door openings for different things. This card says, why doesn't Kylox put an off switch on these things? So she's some kind of leader to these people, or they look at her as some kind of leader, or having some kind of answers. But I got Schindler's List over here. She's really, she comes off as someone who's gonna, Schindler's List, it says, Steven Spielberg's film, powerful real-life story of a Catholic businessman who eventually saved over 1,000 Jews in Nazi Poland. So she makes herself seem like she's some kind of savior or something. She could possibly say that God tells me to do this, God tells me to do that, but it's not God. And I think she calls upon Japanese ancestors, because I have three samurai references here. I have the katana, I have the samurai ogre helm, and I have Japanese right here. How many Japanese does it take to screw in a light bulb? Who needs light bulbs when you've got our new technology? Oh my gosh. She thought this was some kind of new magic trick. Oh my god, I got magic trick at the top of the deck. I'm telling you, she thought she was doing something cool and awesome, and her ancestors were giving her powers and stuff, but it wasn't her ancestors the whole time. It wasn't, because she went into it not really knowing what she was doing, and she didn't do any research. She thought it was sweet. She thought, oh my God, I'm talking to my ancestors and they're making me, she comes off as sweet, good, and caring, like she's some sugary muffin pop, but she's really, that muffin pop's filled with maggots,
I
my
have a
friend.
bad feeling about
Yeah,
this.
I have a bad feeling about her, and she stinks. She smells like sweaty cheese curds or something. She thought it was thrilling. She thought it was exciting. She thought she was having a good time. She showed her friends. She's like, hey, look what I can do. I can do this magic trick. Watch what happens. And she thought it made her cool, to all her nerdy friends. They were like, oh, wow, this can make me cool too. This is where she starts looking like a savior because she can save the nerds with magic. Look what I can do to people who are mean to you, normal, usual, common, ordinary. She started doing it like it was normal, like it was just an everyday thing, calling upon her ancestors and some kind of Orisha. I want to say Orishas. I don't know anything about Orishas. I just hear that in my head. Orishas. I don't know if that's Asian or not. Cocaine. Cocaine in the brain. It's not a party unless you got some kind of magic trick in a party, unless you got some cocaine, I guess. An alkaloid obtained from leaves of the cocoa plant and used at local anesthetic and abused as a drug. I'm right under magic tricks, and I just got a notification.
Spirit.
Spirit, come through, come through. So this person's calling upon demons, doing magic tricks at parties, opening portals on cocaine. Do you think that God would want you to do that? Do you think?
You will stay.
I can guarantee you that any oracle or
Dead
prophet
animals.
or and they're sacrificing dead animals on cocaine. I mean, that is not God. Like it, hello, I gotta tell you that. Luscious. This person, delicious, savory, juicy. This person uses their body to. They must be very attractive on the outside, Maybe they're very voluptuous, very curvy. I'm seeing someone with very lots of curves. And they come across as sweet, but they ain't sweet. Oh no. They are not sweet at all. At least not anymore. Now they're Bluebeard, Fuzz, Lint, Policeman, whatever. I told you I had this on the table too that I picked up. Local police, the Fuzz. They're being sought after by the police. Yeah, the local police are on to them for some fuckery they've been doing. What have they been doing? They've been doing something with water. You can go down Dead Man's Drop and I'll take the lazy river. Oh my god, they might have done they might have unalived someone. Dead Man's Drop. And could possibly have put him in a water, in some kind of water. Maybe they I just gotta True Spirit said they must have did a human sacrifice and dropped the body off in some water somewhere. Frightening, scary, horrifying. Ugh, rock and roll, it's here to stay. What, they do it in the name of rock and roll? Right when they're on cocaine and partying, they're like, dead body. Yeah. They took some kind of scenic route, picturesque, dramatic, panoramic. This person is dramatic. I said that in the beginning. Pumping iron. What a great weight needs to be lifted. What a great weight needs to be lifted. Yeah, that they've killed humans for sacrificing people and possibly, I don't want to say it. Do I have to say it? Well, I don't want to say it. They, they're they're sacrificing humans and dropping them off in some kind of body of water somewhere. Probably poisoning the water supply for the town they're in. Indian leader Mahatma Gandhi, Indian leader and philosopher who preached nonviolence, was assassinated in his efforts. This person could possibly sacrifice spiritual people. They could possibly seek them out because of this evil entity that's attached to them. It probably tells them to do it. And they're like, God told me to do it. God would never tell you to do that. Hi, Jacoby. God would never tell you to sacrifice someone, especially spiritual beings. They wouldn't, they could possibly have already done at least one already and dumped it in a body of water somewhere because they thought their ancestors were talking to them, but it wasn't their ancestors. Timeless. Timeless magic tricks under cocaine and frightening. Timeless. So they keep.
Feel hate.
No, I don't want to feel heat.
If
That's
you're watching you,
that's me. That's them. They don't want me talking about this. Well, sorry. It's got to come out sooner or later because these people keep on doing drugs and trying to do the same things over and over again. It's not going to work. It was never your ancestors to begin with. My love life. I told you this all started because their love life. The magic thing started because they were trying to get someone to stay with them who didn't want to be with them because they're safe, because they have unhealed wounds. That's why. They have unhealed wounds that they need to look at. What are their unhealed wounds? What is this person's unhealed wounds so we can help heal them? So they can, I don't know. They did a lot. Spirit said the only way they're going out is if they die. The only way they're going to stop magic is if they die or if they get put in the hospital, in a mental hospital where they're isolated. You're a genius, but you're also a goose, a silly goose. So this person's actually had potential, was possibly supposed to be something far different than what they turned out to be. Walk across the USA in a vicious hurricane of meatballs. Yeah, because this person is constantly messaging people. She's into men and women, but this says meatballs. So she's looking for people to be codependent with. Spirit says probably to take care of her because she's never been on her own in her life. And so she messages people online and through Instagram. She messages them messages of love, but really she's a hurricane of meatballs. Be followed around by a gaggle of bloodthirsty geese. This is the second one of goose, so this must be talk about this three people that she has with her that think that she's Mahatma Gandhi and some kind of spiritual leader, but she's not. She's bloodthirsty, and then she's making her followers bloodthirsty because she thinks that it's the ancestors, but it's not. It's an evil entity. Your dad divorces your mom because he's fallen in love with you romantically. Oh, great! So she had a romantic relationship with her father, and her mom probably hated her for that, and then she didn't know any better, so now every man she looks for has to take care of her like her daddy. Run a small business, but all your employees are talking swans. I'm telling you, I got goose, geese, swans now. Something about birds. Probably because she kills birds, the animal sacrifices. She uses animal sacrifices to do things. I don't know what. Your floor is made of loaded firearms. This person could possibly have an obscene amount of firearms, which is she's the last person who should have a firearm, honestly. She probably uses them to hunt down these animals to do her animal sacrifices. 2010s. When you go out, you always have to be on a leash. This person's a freaking animal. She's a freaking blue beardian force, a complete dark narcissist. Your roommates host nightly orgies in your studio apartment, and this is what I mean by the city. She's having parties at her house. She's having parties at her house. Spirit come through, and she's saying, hey, watch this magic trick I can do. And then, oh, thank you, I try, God made me this way. And so what she does is she has parties, and she says, look at this magic I'm getting. Does like seances and shit, like with a Ouija board, but she doesn't protect herself. She's not calling upon the ancestors, and she doesn't even close the door behind her when she opens it. So she's let all the people she has these orgies with, she's doing some kind of sex magic after she opens a portal to death. Oh my god. Run a marathon holding scissors in both hands. This person, I don't mean to laugh, but I gotta transmute it a little because what was they thinking? What do you think was gonna happen? You really thought your ancestors would want you to sacrifice so many animals and humans? Live in McDonald's playhouse with Ronald McDonald as your roommate. Her roommate's just as crazy as she is because they all dibbled. She must have two roommates, so there's three people altogether. Wear headphones.
Betty.
Where Betty could be significant. Wear headphones 24/7, playing the sound of old Japanese men using the bathroom. This is the third reference to Japanese. I swear she's calling in Orishas, but they're not Orishas. They're pretending to be Japanese samurai warriors. I don't know why she's calling. Oh, maybe she is Japanese. I don't know. Maybe she thinks she's calling upon her Japanese ancestors, but she's not. Both parents are porn stars. So not only does she have a inappropriate relationship with her father, but both of her parents are promiscuous and have possibly done prostitution. TMZ constantly creates lies about you. So maybe not TMZ, but this person constantly tells lies about you. Why? What do you have to do with any of this? Where did you come in there? All children under the age of 6 are trying to kill you. Oh my god, stop it. This person uses children to do her magic spells. That's enough. When the children come in, I have had it. That's it. I've heard enough. I've heard enough. As Oracle number 36 of the High Divine Order, I call judgment upon this person who keeps on opening portals, don't even know what the hell they're doing, using children to perform sex magic under the moon, Spirit just said.
Run away.
Yeah, run far away from this person. They smell like cheese, they look like a model, and they're straight from hell and have a multiple personality disorder. They're not them anymore. I call judgment. Love you.